How's it going? Welcome back to another great video here on The Savior Show. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, make sure that you go down below and subscribe. I would appreciate it so much, and I appreciate you for clicking on this video. What a time to be alive, because we get to watch some anime thoughts fight weird Pokemon, bat creatures. I mean, what more could you want from life? I don't know. I'm not dead inside, by the way. I'm perfectly sane. Sometimes you just gotta smack a woman.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good.
You don't think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
What would merit it?
Stop it. Get some help.
Today I'm going to be giving you my One Piece Odyssey game review and basically my early review of One Piece Odyssey. So this is based on the preview build that I have played, not the full release, so I'm just saying that now so there's no confusion. But I think that my One Piece Odyssey review is accurate and it will save you time, and I hope that this video helps you make your decision whether or not it's worth buying. One Piece Odyssey is a JRPG, okay, and basically it's the classic turn-based combat, but this time it's a little bit different than other turn-based action games, because here you are actually fighting one-on-one, and within most JRPGs you are fighting as a group, and you can choose, you know, which character you want to use at any given time. So if you have a powerful character that you like the best, you can basically constantly use them in battle because you know they're going to get the job done. I guess you can kind of think of it as Pokemon with anime titties. Not that I'm judging anyone who likes One Piece at all. I'm not going to pretend I'm a fan of the anime. I personally like stuff more like Devilman Crybaby or Akira, but hey, to each their own. If you like One Piece, then you're gonna love this game. Doesn't matter about the gameplay, because as a fan, you're gonna like this simply because the animation and the graphics and the story here is actually decent from what I've played, and it's pretty well written, which is a surprise, especially to me, because most JRPGs are kind of cringe, and there are some cringe lines now and then in the dialogue, but here the character interaction and the writing is actually pretty good, and some of it made me chuckle, which was quite a surprise. So for fans of the show, I think you can rest assured that this is basically on par with the show, and I did go and watch a few episodes just to see what this is all about, and yeah, I think the writing is on point. So as I was saying, the turn-based combat is a little bit different because it's one-on-one, which spices things up, especially if you've played a lot of JRPGs in the past. This will be different for you. It forces you to play different characters and level them up so everyone is equal, and that brings more opportunities to the table, special abilities and stuff like that. And the special abilities here are of course on a cooldown like most JRPGs, but I do think that is a unique mechanic, and anything that's unique I love, because we need more innovation in the gaming industry. And like I said before in most of my videos, I personally think the AAA gaming industry, the modern day gaming industry, is collapsing. So when I see innovation, I'm very happy that this developer, I Love Computer Art, aren't just following the trends, they are actually being innovative and creating new systems, which is great. Another new mechanic that adds a lot to this game is called dramatic scenes, and basically this is almost a randomized event that happens when you're in combat, and it will basically add story elements, dialogue, or changes in the gameplay, where you have to, for example, defeat a boss with only one character to progress, or one of the characters gets injured in a fight and you have to protect that character, stuff like that, which I think adds, you know, just freshness to the gameplay, because after a while this combat system does get boring, like I think it does in most turn-based games, but this adds a layer of, you know, randomness to it, and it keeps you on your feet, it keeps you, you know, on edge, which I like. The problem I have with turn-based games is most of the time it feels like you have way too much control and it's not dynamic, and it just gets boring and repetitive. but with this system in place, it adds a layer of, unpredictability to the gameplay, which I think is very much needed, and it's nice to see them changing things up. So far in this One Piece Odyssey review, I would say I'm rather positive, and I'm surprised because usually I would be more critical, but I'm just happy that a game is releasing and it's actually polished, it's not buggy. There are the occasional bugs, but mostly what I've played is actually polished, and you don't see weird stuff happening like the characters clipping or just disappearing into another dimension and, going into the void like we see happen with so many other games nowadays, just lazy development. This actually is all stable. It's not my type of game. The writing here is actually decent, and for the fans of One Piece, this is definitely a must play. But if you're not into JRPGs or you're not a fan of One Piece, I wouldn't say you're missing anything special. Even with the unique mechanics, I personally don't think it's worth it unless you're invested in this universe already. But the final cool mechanic that they've added, which is great, is basically you have this in-between time when you're not in combat, exploring the world. And although, like most JRPGs, it feels limited and it's not like, an RPG like Skyrim, it's very kind of formulaic. But the cool thing about this is you can swap characters at any point, and each character has their own unique abilities to basically interact with the world space around them and, interact with the environment. A good example is if you find a place that's too small, you can switch characters and basically traverse that way, or if you see a ledge that you can't reach, you can grapple with another character using, a kind of grappling hook mechanic. And you can swap out these characters at any point, and basically this adds a level of tactics to the gameplay. You have to think about what character is best for each situation and what character is best for that enemy type, which adds a level of complexity which I like, and it reminds me of like a card-based game. And I just think that's pretty cool that you can go back and explore different areas, but more places will unlock depending on what character you use and what upgrades you have for them and their special abilities. We've seen that done in Mario and stuff like that before, and it's nothing new, but it is a cool feature. Combining that with the other two unique mechanics, I think this makes a unique JRPG experience, and One Piece Odyssey seems to be working pretty well. Now, there are some negatives, like I said. There is a few bugs, but nothing, game-breaking. And the combat still does get repetitive. I think that's just the nature of this type of game. That depends on you as a player. The story itself didn't invest me, but the writing between the characters and the character interaction is where you will find some enjoyment and entertainment. And like I said, for One Piece fans, I think this is a great game, but otherwise I would give it a skip. And yeah, I'm just happy that the developers are at least trying and respecting the player base and not trying to, squeeze a lot of money out of them by adding, lots and lots of microtransactions, or basically, and that it's actually a polished game on release. So yeah, that's my One Piece Odyssey game review. Please let me know if you're going to get this and what you think of anime or JRPG games in general, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, and peace out.